Welcome to a little video about angling and how to fight tanks that are 2 tiers higher than your tank. Now we all know that how it goes. Matchmaker screwing you over, you get to the bottom of the team and you ask yourself, what the hell am I supposed to do here? Now this game is kind of balanced. There's a lot of tier 8 tanks, but also tier 9 tanks, and I'm going to encounter tier 9 tanks in my endeavors on this map. Now I chose the TigerP for this because it's pretty easy to give an example, because German tanks have the angling going for them, and it's a slow tank too. And recently we had this forum thread about slow tanks and how to approach this particular situation with a heavy tank. So I think it's a pretty decent choice here. Now for the TigerP and especially, you have the very nice front armor, the bolted plates here, of the obvious weak spots of the MG or the viewport on the left side, and the jarring weak spot, the lower front plate, which is nicely angled though, so you can use the angles and people won't pen. However, the TigerP has a really big problem that differentiates it from the Tiger. That is, for one, the giant cupola that is easily panned by anything, and the cheeks, which are such a good target for everything. Tier 6 medium will just pan straight through, no problems. And as you can see, obviously you would want to try to angle your tank in a way that the frontal armor can't be panned by anything. It's probably around here, maybe even a little bit more, around here, yeah. But even like these bolted plates are really hard to penetrate. So like this is already enough. But here we go with the cheeks. This area, and the same on the other side of course, is completely unarmored. Like I said, tier 6 medium will just go through, and no matter how you angle the TigerP, someone will always be able to pen it. So what you want to need to go with the TigerP is need something in front of that cheek. Like let's say it's angled like this. Then you have this cheek covered. The front plate is slightly angled, not really much, but slightly, and that's already enough to make most enemies bounce on the bolted plates or not even pen. And then you need something that covers all this to hide the cheek on the left side. Now to do this, you need a building, a wall. However, keep in mind, with the next patch, walls are not covered anymore. Tanks will just pan right through them, so you gotta keep that in mind. Walls, pillars, everything that is destructible, even the houses, like those destructible houses over here, they won't be covered anymore. Keep that always in mind, otherwise you'll have a nasty surprise coming up for you. So we won't have an indestructible building, like one of these two, or this tower over here. Heck, since it's still with the destructible stuff, you can use pillars. You can use pillars as protection. A car like this is also nice for one shot. Or something like this, which is only destroyable but not destructible completely. That's nice. You want stuff like that. As you can see here, I'm trying an approach, trying to figure out from where to go. Having a look here. This is something you have to always do. You're now a tier 2, minus tier 2 tank in this battle. You're tier 7 or tier 9 battles. So what you want to do is try to find and look around for how to approach the enemy tanks. Now, what I'm doing is trying to shoot the cupolas only for the beginning of the battle. That's totally fine. You can pan the cupolas of any tank with the TigerP that you will ever meet, including T95 easily. So now approaching furthermore, I'm trying to get up on this little hill. It's only a really small one, but as you can see, I can now shoot cupolas. But I'm not really taking the shots here. You can also see I have to really drive forward all the way over to there, just to get enemies into my range because of the gun depression. Like you can see here, I can't get my gun all too far down. So trying to poke around a little bit. This is not that great. As you can see here, my gun is on the lowest. There we go, now I can shoot. However, bounces again. A rather defensive position, of course, but still, You can always do more than that. This is an example, Tiger 2 giving us a great example. I'm going to angle my tank in a similar manner in a few seconds. That is because of the cheeks. However, I'm not... What he did wrong is he exposed his side. Can we get this? There we go. He exposed his side. He got hit right here and got damaged. That is why you don't angle German tanks in general like this. But how can I say this? Yeah, like he should stand like I'm currently standing. Like take this tank, copy it over there. That's how you want to stand with a Tiger 2 at this position. A little bit more angled to the right. Like if he would stand like this, you would see you can already clearly see he would just pan through the side. So we'll angle it a little bit more to the right. So approaching now, using the left house, something you also like angling. When you angle your tank, you have to keep a lot of minor things in your mind. Always remember them. Always working around with them. When you see the TigerP, you get the cheeks. You know you want to angle your front hull, but also not enough to make them able to shoot your sides. But you also have to keep in mind all your weak spots, every single one of them. And we talked about this earlier. The cupola is a weak spot, a big one. So you have to keep that in mind. It's on the left side. So obviously, cover that is on the left and will only expose your right side is better and preferably, it's preferably better than, for example, this house, because it will keep the cupola out of the enemy's reach. As you can see here now. There we go. First shot goes into the upper front plate. Not really a dangerous shot. If it would have been APCR, which it wasn't, then it won't have panned. But if it would be, wouldn't be angled, there was a slight chance of getting a pan here. So always keep the front angled. Now, as you can clearly see here, the cheek is covered. The other cheek is covered. Cupola is kind of covered, still a good target, but a small one now, not a giant huge thing, it's almost the size of a light tractor. Lower front plate is angled, also really bad target, look at this. This is awesome, this is perfect cover for the TigerP. They can't really shoot the lower front plate because here's the block. This is awesome, this is just made for the TigerP to be here. Meanwhile, I just keep this in mind, this is positioning poor. I can shoot the 110, I can shoot the E75, I can shoot the Su-101, which I just did, and I have, look at this, I have them completely in my sights. Alright, here only the nose, but that's enough. I can pan him here, easily. Easily. I can also put pressure on the KV-5 or the T-34 if they reverse a little bit. And if I can take one or two of these guys out, I can drive forward and take on the T-29 or Tiger. Meanwhile, they can't pan myself. There we go. For the reason, if you're asking yourself, why am I driving forward and backwards again? Because I'm currently set. I just stated they can't pan me. Easily. Two reasons, really. There's not really something where you can say, I'm impenetrable, nothing can pen me. There's always something that can pen you. Always. So you want to keep on the move a little bit. Next thing is artillery. If the artillery moves now, for example, let's say the artillery player is really good and he knows this guy is going to keep bashing away people, they can't pen him. Like he sees you getting all these... He sees that. He sees all these bounces here. There we go. Good example here. That shot went straight into my tracks. Really lucky shot, in my opinion. Straight into the tracks, panned the hull behind it, got my driver. Nice shot here by the E75. And you'll see in a moment, I'm going to change my angle a little bit. And I'm also going to use my repair kit for the tracks, because I can't risk staying out there for too long. Usually I would say, use what, 7-8 seconds of track repair. But the problem is, as soon as someone fires on your hull and pans it, when you're angling and bouncing all these shots, then he's gonna fire on the same spot again, and he might hit the same spot obviously again. You don't want that to happen, obviously, because that will take your hit points away, and they're quite precious as a low tier tank in a high tier battle. So what you want to do is, even if it's just 4 seconds of repair, use these repair kits, get the hell out of there again, readjust your angle a little bit, go in there again. Can't do anything else. Otherwise you take the risk of taking more damage or even die. That's not worth it at all. Now, second reason to get back behind the building is obviously the artillery. He can splash me if he's on the right position, or even hit me, and that would be really bad. Tier 8 artillery will just one-hit me at this point, most likely, or splash me badly. Now, for the next point, finding these kind of tanks, obviously, here we go, nice little bounce again. Finding these kind of tanks, obviously you want to have a little bit of APCR with you, but you won't need it. I suggest, if you fight tanks that are 2 tiers above you, this now goes into that area, you don't instantly need the APCR or heat, just load it later on, and just fire AP, and when you encounter something you can't pan for 2 or 3 shots in a row, then you might want to consider using APCR, but also keep the penetration values in mind. So we got AP here with an average of 203, which is pretty darn good on tier 7, and the APCR has 237, which will pretty much pan anything you can meet in this tank. T95 weak spots, the lower front plate easily, no problems at all. Pretty sure AP will pan that too. But you should really keep these APCR shells with you all the time. Use them only in emergencies or in situations where you know you won't pan, or you need them, where you can't trust RNG. I'm bouncing my shots here. As you can see here, it's pretty much only the upper front plate. I was hoping to get the spike, the frontal nose of the 110 here. Maybe should have gone for the cupola instead. It's a nice juicy target. Look at this. It's pretty big when you think about it. Aside from that, it's not really much else to say. Another thing for the angling though, which I forgot to mention before, it's pretty much the third reason why you shouldn't stay out and bounce all these shots. I'm kind of a mixed mind in this one, but I prefer not to do it, because on one side it can crush the enemy morale, of course, and you can say, what are you going on about now? Like psychological warfare and stuff? Pretty much, yes. Morale is something that works in games too, obviously. And if you break the enemy's morale, then they're gonna lose hard. So that can break the enemy morale just by being, we can't hit that, we can't damage this guy, it's insane, it's a tier 7 tiger and we can't pan him. But it's a risk, because most of the times what will happen, or there is the risk that it can happen, that these guys will realize, we can't pan him like this, we need to move. And then either they retreat or fall back or relocate into new positions, for which you might not even be able to angle your tank, you'll just have to go straight at them. Or they'll rush you, which is the worst scenario, because obviously when all these tanks up in front of me would still be alive and be rushing me, I would be dead by now. Especially if they would have rushed us right from the beginning with only the E50 and me down here, no chance. They would have overrun us, they would have gone up the hill and then killed everyone up there. So if you gotta keep this thing on with going back and forth. Now, you might say, yeah, but sometimes you drove forward even when you weren't reloaded yet, or you waited for a little bit longer. You want these guys to shoot too. Not because you want a steel wall, metal's always nice, but because you want them to shoot and waste their ammunition on you, and you want them to feel like they're still fighting. They still have a fighting chance. It's something again with psychological warfare, thingamajig, blah, but really that's really important. Making an enemy believe he's able to fight you or might be able to pen you while he isn't, that is some really badass stuff to happen with that case. You can see here, bouncing on the E75. And this is again, now that we are out of the angling part, when you're fighting a 2 tiers higher tank, front to front like this, obviously doing it right here. Got several allies with me. I'm not alone. Never fight a higher tank alone, especially in a slow ass tank like the TigerP. You don't want to do that. Obviously, from the angled position, I can see that. In the E75, you can do that. He'll probably just rush you, but when you're alone against him and maybe do a good amount of damage before he gets here, because that's the thing. Right now he has 1,300 hit points. I have a max of 1,400. Let's say I get him down to that or even further before he reaches me, then it's an even battle. Because the damage he does for Alpha, I have my IRF for that, my rate of fire. Things you gotta be concerned about. Now, for the attack on the tank like this, you will want to do it like this. Use cover, of course, but also get some shots off. Like you can see here, I'm trying to hit the copular because you want to make your shots. It's a low chance of penetrating him, but that's not about it. It's like the chance, even having the chance of penning him, doing damage is really important right now. Which is why I'm taking a shot. Obviously, cupola shots is always like in between. You will pen sometimes, sometimes not. Sometimes you pen every single shot. And now you see, Type 59 flanks him. It's out of control for him. He's going to die. But you really gotta do this. Like, if you stand around all the way back there and just snipe at him, it's not gonna work. Like, for example, right now, if I would have stayed, let's say, somewhere over here where I was taking a shot, probably by now the E50 would be blocking another shot if I would be reloaded. I couldn't assist them anymore. Plus, of course, you will want to cover some ground. In a situation like this, where the E75 is the only tank left, basically on this flank, you will want to advance and attack. Keep in mind though, artillery is still alive. Alright, this battle is pretty much done. Artillery is still alive, so if you advance alone, which is pretty much suicide, but actually it's not. Let's say everyone else is dead. E75 is standing right where he was killed. I'm with my TigerP. What would you do? What I would be doing is shoot the E75 from one of these positions, either the house, if he's still visible from there, this rock, which is not a good position, or this one of these complex houses here, facilities over here. Shoot him once or twice. Don't get damaged by that, because you need your hit points by now. And then bail for a little bit behind that house, wait, and then go all the way around. We get still 8 minutes to kill him, so go all the way around, make sure he doesn't spot you. And then, either you try to go on this, can you go up there? No, you can't go up anywhere. You cannot go up here, but I don't think this is a good spot. What you want to try is go up here and get him from behind. Like 2 shots in, you need to get 2 shots in before he can shoot you once. If you can't get that off, you got him. And you can use this part here to cover yourself from artillery while blopping on him. If he turns around, you just use the speed you get from driving back down the hill to get here, where you're already safe again, and he has to come to you. So you fight a tank that is 2 tiers higher than you. Mind you, that's with a tank that is the TigerP with a good amount of armor, and it's still pretty much having the lack of him missing or being just better than him and things like that. A lot of things coming together with that, and it's a tank 2 tiers higher than you. You're not supposed to be able to kill it easily. So you gotta be sneaky about it. You gotta make your plans, and then you might still lose the fight, but that's just how it is. For tanks like the Tiger, a lot of people don't like the Tiger's armor. I think the Tiger's armor is pretty good, and it has a lot of hit points to make it even better. 1,500 hit points, just like that on the go. Look at that, that's 100 less than the Tiger 2, and the Tiger 2 is a beast. For the Tiger, what you want to do, because it doesn't have the cheeks, you don't have to care about that all too much. But the armor is really weak compared to, the TigerP. So what you want to do is the following. You got an IS tank and straight up ahead. He's right in front of you. He's obviously going to shoot your lower front plate or front plate, the hull. So what you want to do is memorize when he's gonna fire. Well, you might take a shot, angle your tank a little bit at the beginning like this, maybe a little like this, so that he can't shoot your side, but he has to shoot the front, and he will most likely pen. Unless he's completely failing. And then the next time he's gonna shoot, like you can feel after some time when a tank is going to shoot. You know it. You just know it, or you guess. Just guess it if you don't know it. And in that case, he shoots again. You just do this in a way that the shell, while the shell flies towards the armor gets more and more angled. The shell bounces on the front armor, and you have to do it in a way that you won't get hit here. Like most tankers will always hit. Simple thing. This is what experienced tankers do. They shoot for the middle because of the aiming circle being a little bigger than your target. Like, I want to shoot here because that gives me the highest chance of penetrating. So by doing that, you know he's aiming for the middle. You angle it quickly like this, bounce. Easy thing. Tanks like the IS or IS-2, rather easy too. You got really a lot of speed there. What's that for the IS? 40 kmh. You can just run up and flank someone. Like before an E75 could kill you, you get off 3 shots at least. Just by running straight at him. Like using here these rails as cover, sneaking around up on him with full speed, coming across. He shoots me once. I'm down to, what is that, 1,200, 700 hit points. I shoot him once, shoot him twice, he shoots me again. And if I have a rammer and he doesn't, I get a third shot off, or maybe he's already dead, or he's burning. Maybe you can dodge a shot or two. It's still a tier 7 fighting a tier 9 and doing a lot of damage to it, so can't really argue with that. T29 is the easiest thing ever. I would just, if there wasn't artillery, I would just be here, hold down, shooting him. Just gotta play with what you got, like for every single tank. This is an example of how to do it. Oh well, hope it helped. See you next time.